Hello everybody and welcome to this, your Virgo January 2025 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, Clairvoyant. Well, we have a great deck for you this month. It's full of, well, what's it called? That style of art, surrealism, I suppose. Who was the great surrealist painter? Was that Dali or Picasso? One was a surrealist, one was a cubist. I don't know. You might know better than I. I think it was Dali who was the surrealist, but in any event, you are going to love this stuff. Now, you know, of course, that I provide clairvoyant readings to people from all over the world over FaceTime and Skype. And if you might be interested to see what's involved in that, or curious, the details are in the description below. Now, they go for about an hour and a half, and I charge for them. The details are in there. What I don't charge for, and which I do offer separately for free, no obligation, no expectation, nothing in return, is the gift of healing, which takes about 45 minutes, I guess. And that healing is you can put two and two together as to where it comes from. And it comes through me and not from me. Now, look, you might just be at your wit's end with something. You might have run out of fuel. You might be having problems with business or work or families or... Do you know what? There's all sorts of things. There could be some grief, emotional difficulties to get over, stress, anxiety, all these things, illnesses. It's a blank sheet. The purpose of it, of course, is to provide relief and extend the compassion of the beloved to provide that relief. Now, if that speaks to you, then the details are in the description as well. Lots of people take advantage of it, and I set time aside each day to do them for people, and I do them every day. Now, happily so, I might add, because it's my sole duty, of course. Now, there are no video advertisements breaking into this content, and so you get to enjoy the experience of it direct. We're going to take 5. Show me the magic. Here is the 3 of Cups. You see, great artwork on this. The 9 of Swords. Beautiful. Beautiful indeed. Now, there's the 6 of Wands. Tremendous energy around there. That's interacting with that. And there's the 5 of Pentacles. See, here we go. And finally, what is there here? There's the Knight of Cups. Well, I'll bring the camera around, shall I, so that you and I can have a good close look at the fantastic imagery on these things together while I do the reading for you. You see, the trouble with being a perfectionist is that it's very often difficult to accept that 98% is just as good as 100%. And as a result of that, you can worry and have thoughts circulating around in your head, which I can see going on here. You're going to be letting some things go, which is not unusual for this time of year. Great degree of love, victory over past hurdles and obstacles, and a great new path forward for this year, of course. And quite an interesting person here, I think. Why am I getting this thing about you worrying about things? Let's have a look. You are the poster child for worry sometimes. Well, I'm getting your planet of Mercury here, you see, and I see it sitting in Taurus in that period, which is the 20th or the 30th of April. That's the first decan of Taurus. So what happens is that you kind of get the intellectual, that analytical and fluid nature of Mercury is weighed down by the fixed sign of Earth, being Taurus, even though it is a sister sign to you. That bull, of course, as symbolizes Taurus, can be plodding, with the result that you feel as if you have a lot of cares around you. There's a pessimism here. In some respects, I think maybe there's a situation that's in a rut or loaded with tension, and you feel that clarifying communication to sort it out looks impossible, so that everything starts to look gloomier and more hopeless. Well, you're better than that. Now, You may feel, and I even do think, that there could be some relationships that certainly threaten to break apart, even if they don't necessarily break apart. I'll touch on that in the Nine of Swords, but you might feel that your energy is blocked, that your thoughts keep revolving around finding a solution, a way out, a breakthrough. And I think that this situation is touching the depths of your subconscious and going right through you, a black hole, no way out, a hopelessness. I'm convinced that with this Nine of Swords here, it's probably to do with things in the past. Do you see or feel that if you take action, that the past is going to repeat itself? Well, I can assure you that here it is not. Now, incidentally, I think that this is something that has been going on some time with you, and you haven't dealt with it. You might be thinking to yourself, am I getting myself into a situation that I might not be able to get out of? Will events overwhelm me? I'm worried. Well, of course, worry is about past and future, neither of which exist. Nevertheless, because you have drawn this card here, I think that now you are ready to look at your situation as it is, and you are being given the opportunity to free yourself by starting up the necessary talks with other people or partner. And because only clear and open communications, that's that Mercury aspect, they're the only things that are going to make things go forward for you, but it's also about past. Now, in a sense, I think what the advice that's coming through here to you is to basically just hit that button within you and here, at every level of your life, the iron doors shutting out the past, the dead yesterdays, and hit another button and shut off with a metal curtain the future, the unborn tomorrows. And then you're safe. You are safe for today. And today is all there is. Shut off the past. Let the dead past bury its dead. Shut out the yesterdays which have shown fools the way to dusty deaths. And the load of tomorrow, when you add it to that of today and carry it, well, that would make the strongest person fall over. So shut off the future as tightly as the past. The future is today. It is today. There is no tomorrow. Now in life, here I got to remind you that this is it. This is it. This is not a rehearsal. It is not for a life to be lived. It is not an advertisement for a life yet to be lived. This is it. There is no tomorrow. The future is today. The hand that brings you salvation is coming now. Now, waste of energy, mental distress, nervous worries, those things that dog us when we're anxious about the future, they're no good. Close the hatches of the ship that you are on in the front and the back, and prepare to bring about the habit of life today type living. Now, I'll also say this, because I think it's in connection with this Nine of Swords, which I might turn to next, but I'm just going to put it there for now. I'm going to see these energies interchanging with each other. Look, do you know, often you can allow yourself to get upset by small things that really you should just despise and forget, because here you are on this earth with only a few more decades to live, and you lose many irreplaceable hours brooding over grievances that, in a year's time, they're going to be forgotten by you and by everybody. Devote your life now to action, to worthwhile actions and feelings, to great thoughts, to real affections. For life is too short to be little. But in what areas are you not, what situations are you not clear and decisive enough, and with which people do you need to clarify things and say to yourself, I am ready to look at my life as it is and trust in the process of resolving my fears. I am straightening my life, and the best way to straighten out your life is by action. Action. If you lived in a street that was nearby a volcano and that volcano was erupting and lava was coming down the street, would you be sitting on the lounge or the couch worrying about what was going to happen? No. You'd be taking action. Always have a bias for action. If you're doing things, you don't have time to worry about anything. But let me have a look at that Nine of Swords. You know, I deal with a lot of people, as part of my healings, who get recurring thoughts that drive them mad, and this is here. Look at this head. There's a head which is detached, and yet you do have arms that can reach out for this fruit and grab this rose to bring it to you and smell, but these clouds are here, these thoughts are coming down. And I feel that there is something of a cruelty to yourself and a self-accusation, if I may say. Look, do you know that the most powerful words that you will ever hear are the words that you say to yourself? They get right into your subconscious. And your subconscious is like a computer program, and it will just allow you to do whatever it thinks you want to do and stop you doing whatever it thinks you don't want to do. So be very careful about what you say. You should be your own cheerleader. And remember always that you get more of what you focus on. There is really this here, I'm getting Mars in Gemini, that's here, that's the 1st to the 11th of June, which is that second fixed decan of Gemini. Well, the one-pointed nature of Mars doesn't really sit with that scattered energy of Gemini. Gemini is the third impulse of the divine when it comes into creation, and it causes everything to scatter in all directions. Why? To get difference, to get polarity, to have up and down, forwards and backwards, light and dark, male and female. Polarity, difference, because it's only with polarity, differences, that there then can be attraction, and attraction to then spread love and to get manifestation to increase. It's almost as if there is some internal debate going on with you, with 2 points of view, and perhaps you're afraid to make a definite choice, and then you put yourself down for your indecisiveness. Well, that should not be the case with you at all. And remember, as I say, your words and thoughts have power. And incidentally, these thoughts which we see here, and they drop onto you, thoughts are paintings that you create yourself, and you surround them with words that you have come up with. And they rain down upon you. They rain down upon you, the thoughts that you have created yourself. But and particularly at this time of year, don't be too hard upon yourself. Look, one of the great things about life is that you can start over. There is a hand from being itself, which does come in and offer new beginnings and second chances. And there's a compassion that comes along here as well that specializes in giving you fresh starts. Now, while you may feel overwhelmed at times and held back by painful recollections or haunting fears, remorse or shame or guilt, or the power of being itself in your present life is not limited by what took place in your past. When you are governed and manipulated by your painful memories, you allow the past to control your action. You see, thoughts give rise to feelings, which give rise to actions. But when you have trust in being itself, and you give it the controls, you will see that it will do amazing things with the rest of your life. And there is now a start that you can have, which will have a brand new ending. I think also you've got to forgive yourself as well, do you know? And the reason to forgive yourself here is not because you feel like it or because you want to see yourself as blameless, but because you limit what you can receive from the beloved when you hold on to your past. You see, being itself wants to do so much more than you can ever imagine. Forgiving yourself starts with believing in the Absolute's incredible love for you and accepting its grace and compassion. If the Absolute does forgive you, then who are you to hold on to what the Absolute has not only forgiven but forgotten? So beware of thoughts, because this does, sadly, I think, point out a tendency for you to put yourself down cruelly sometimes. You know your Achilles heel better than anybody else. You know how to hurt yourself far more deeply than anybody else can. Now, I think you have to recognize this and fully see this behavior pattern before you'll be able to overcome it. Who overcome it? Now listen, who judged you earlier? And how do you now condemn yourself? Are you ready to forgive your parents, or others, and particularly yourself? But say this, because it is definitely true. I am loved simply because I am the way I am. Now this time, Mercury, your planet, is around, I'm thinking, in a really good position here with, what would this be? And it's in Cancer. By the looks of this energy here, Mercury in Cancer. Well, Cancer is the most maternal and nurturing of the signs. And so that you will find that with Mercury, you'll have will and communication ability. And being in Cancer, with its nurturing capabilities, you'll be able to express your feelings fully with people who are close to you, and which will enrich your life. There's an overflowing exchange of love here, rare, valuable feelings and perceptions, understandings that can be communicated intimately. Love, yeah. Haven't you noticed about love that love never dies a natural death? It dies because we don't know how to replenish its source. It dies of blindness and errors and betrayals. It dies of illness and wounds. And it dies of weariness, of witherings and tarnishings. But love is this elixir that comes from the Holy Grail, and with it comes tenderness. So cultivate tenderness in love, because with tenderness you pour the warm and sweet whispers of love. Have also forgiveness, peace, love, gratefulness, and even prayer. But forgiveness, let the forgiveness conquer the battles of the heart and mind. As for peace, let peace dwell on the inside of your heart and soul and be healed. Love, let the love of the beloved blanket you from the top of your head down to the sole of your feet. And gratefulness, well, let it run through your veins all the days of your life, and even prayer to whatever you see is a higher power than you. Let it nourish your spirit and soul. But during this period here, you will also have something especially valuable to share. So be open for the people with whom you can share these exquisite feelings with. They are also a gift. You don't need to look for them. And I think that the love here is actually a love of the highest order. And I'm looking at 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's available to be shared with only a small circle of people. And these 3 women may stand for 3 important people in your life with whom you can exchange these precious and exquisite feelings with great intimacy. Now, there's the birth of an idea here, setting of a goal. I see a child around here as well. It's definitely a good time to tell other people that you love them, and a good time to boost the morale of other people as well. Enjoy your riches, but be aware of their limitations, and be aware that always that there is never a U-Haul following a hearse to the cemetery. Life is good for you now, but are there any people towards whom you have not yet outwardly expressed the love you feel them? It's no good if it's inside. Say it. Words have power. Give whatever you would like to now in full awareness of your boundless riches, and say, because it is so true for you, that today life gives me everything I need to be happy. See, I'm not losing any sleep over these energies here, which I'm sure you will overcome. And the reason here is this central energy, which is that of, this energy is that of Jupiter. Jupiter in the second decan of Leo, the 3rd to the 12th of August. Well, look, you already know, I suppose, that Jupiter is about love, about expansion, philosophy, and this combines really well with the creativity of Leo, and so you have success in achieving your goals. I also like the fact that there's a 6 here when the sun, which rules Leo, is around, because I have a mystical association with the sun in the numerology of the 6. Now, Leo is going to give you great confidence and creativity, while Jupiter is going to bestow upon you a great expansiveness, and there's good luck going on here. It's a time of transition, movements, solutions coming up, but in particular, there is success and victory. There's a great clarity of mind. There's something of a breakthrough, I think. There's really the unification of body, mind, and spirit, and a feeling of you where you are inspired to continue. And I do get the feeling that you are going to get recognition from other people. You may even be put into the center of the stage. And I have the feeling that you are going to enjoy being in the spotlight. Now, you are filled with a great feeling of strength, which aids you to victory on all the levels that you've wished for. There's a victory here over past troubles, although I think you'll remember them, won't you? But the point is, you've defeated them, and you've become stronger and smarter as a result. Look, as we're saying here, all is well. You've got high self-confidence from Leo. So go forward and set new goals and also beef up your learning and understanding of things. That's the Jupiter aspect of it. Now, do what you're planning to do because this moment really promises success. Now, what do you really want to achieve? What do you want? Can you say in one sentence, what do I want? Nothing airy-fairy, practical. What do I want? Then you'll find that a burden is lifted from your shoulders and 80% of things that come your way you don't even need to touch. Say to yourself, I'm now ready to enjoy success in my life. Every event in my life brings me closer to my final goal, and my victory brings benefits to all involved. And then finally, let's just talk about someone who is probably in your life, I think, although it does also have things to say to you. But what is it saying? Look, this person, now first of all, it can be either a male or a female. I'm getting the feeling of Scorpio and Libra around it. Just saying. But I do think that for you, this will be a time of you wanting to fulfill your desires, your wishes, your cravings. And you'll go ahead and do those. I think you'll have the ability to detach. I suppose that's that sort of that Libra energy that I'm getting around there. Libra's an air sign, so can be detached, I suppose. And with this air sign of Libra, it's sort of, you are detaching from heavy, intense, controlling emotions, which I suppose could be a sort of that Scorpio feeling that I'm getting around here. This person, who is either a woman or a man, themselves could be very detached and cool. But I think that this might be a front for insecurity and a fear that they have inside of them. Yeah. This is a person, think of them, who has a sort, is very crafty, very manipulative, I suppose. Someone that really is without any conscience in the ordinary sense of the word. Someone who's completely ruthless and really does just care for power and information and their own well-being and their own goals. This is someone who really deep down doesn't have any responsibility or feel any responsibility for anybody else, and so as a result they can't really be relied upon. In a sense, this person reminds me of a fast river that's flowing. As the fast river flows, so does this person, trying to get the most out of life as is possible. Someone that, as I say, appears calm, but this masks a passion and an intensity which can really make the person very volatile. Now look, they have a lot to offer, I think. They've got immense ability. But as I say, they can't be relied upon because the main responsibility of this person is to themselves, and they can be very secretive in hiding their deepest desires from you. But I will say this though, they're very good at giving insight into problems because they have normally been there and done everything themselves. Someone I think who has had their expectations unfulfilled or crushed in the past, leaving them with a great degree of sadness and disappointment. And so the person sort of carries on a behavior that really means that they need to set realistic goals, I think. This is someone who is in a way got to be careful not to shut themselves away and to really push their life forward in a balanced and normal way like everybody else does here. But there is within them the potential for great balance, and there is an intensity here which resonates with this Scorpio energy that I'm getting around it, and this can add an emotional depth
to a sexual relationship, which is you are perhaps involved in, I think, giving it an intensity. The feeling that I'm getting is with a sexual relationship with you, it's not just a sexual fulfillment, but it's a way of getting the most out of life by living it to the full. Now, I think this is also going to be a period of some rest and healing for you, funnily enough. Maybe even after a period of trauma. I think that this is going to allow you to mend before you go forward. Because you are going forward to victory, but if you do not use the time wisely and you're just sitting around worrying about things, then there'll be a repeat cycle. In a sense, I get this person feeling from time to time that they're exhausted from periods of passion. But you must accept your sexual needs and passions and live them out with awareness, because you'll discover a lot in this process. So give yourself totally to the experience and observe yourself in it and ask yourself, what secret wishes are you unwilling to admit to? And spend some time each day visualizing yourself and your desires without getting lost in them. But say this to yourself: I now live out my sexual desires because this makes me more vital and fulfilled. What a particularly interesting spread of cards for you. It's so much better for you being here.
Well, didn't I tell you that was interesting art, and I'm sure that you would have enjoyed it as much as I did. Now, of course, the new calendar year, and my best wishes to you all. Now, unless I see you again privately, either for a clairvoyant reading or for healing, then I'll see you again next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Until then, it's bye for now.